This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to witness the final installment of the unholy Descenduary 2. I present to you, Descendants, the Royal Wedding. Before we begin, I find it necessary to point out that Disney, who is famous around the world for its legacy of animated films that have touched generations of audiences, decided to outsource this movie's animation to Le Cube, a company based out of Argentina, which has never made an animated film before. And the premiere date was Friday the 13th. Sounds like a winning combination to me. Our movie begins with a couple of squirrels who, surprisingly, look incredibly Disney-esque compared to everything else we've seen so far. If we look at this invitation for the wedding of Ben and Mal, who, for the purposes of this review, I'm still referring to as Banal, it's very obvious that this was designed and very cheaply animated in, I don't know, whatever free downloadable animation software people are using these days since the death of Flash. The squirrels, however, look like they might have been created using traditional hand-drawn animation. They're drawn at a frame rate of 24 frames per second, occasional pause for timing notwithstanding. The backgrounds look like they were painted in watercolors. It almost looks like something out of Sleeping Beauty or The Sword in the Stone. And with that, all of the nice things I had to say about the animation officially come to a close.
Just the animation, or the movie as a whole?
Yes. Since apparently we can't have nice things for more than literally 20 seconds, we get an instant downgraded animation with, appropriately enough, the reintroduction of Dude. Oh, I am so happy that they included Dude in this movie.
At least he's animated so he can emote?
Are you looking for a silver lining in this garbage?
It's a hard habit to break.
Yeah, I don't know why they spent so much time making these squirrels look good when the rest of the animation looks like an old CD-ROM game. We've got these doves flying into frame to transition us to this establishing shot of Ben's castle, during what looks like a particularly and plot-directingly hot summer day, and they're animated at 8 frames per second. It makes the movie look like it's having buffering issues. Would it really have been so hard to use the bird animation from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is clearly what they were trying to evoke? And then we see Mal and her girlfriends helping her get ready for her wedding, and they're all animated at 6 frames a second. It looked like the animators drew their keyframes, but forgot to draw their tweens. And like their comic book counterparts, they're decent enough representations of the actors who played them, but why don't they look more like the Disney characters from whom they're descended, which is supposed to be the entire point of this franchise? Hell, they're making Titanic The Legend Goes On look better than this. Yeah, I said that, and I'm sticking by it. No, seriously, the animation is more fluid, and you can tell who these characters are ripping off. Speaking strictly from a technical level, the movie with the rapping dog is more competent than Descendants, the Royal Wedding. But yeah, Mal's getting ready for her big day, Dizzy's helping with her hair, Evie's helping with her dress and her flowers, and Audrey's helping as the wedding planner, because this franchise can't decide if Audrey is Mal's friend or enemy. Why isn't Jane the wedding planner? She planned the whole frickin' cotillion, by herself, so she should be all over this, right?
The wedding is going to be perfect.
Beyond perfect. I mean, all my friends are gonna be there. Even my dad is coming.
Don't forget your mom. There.
Oh. Good. These movies are supposed to be about forgiveness and redemption and all that crap, but Maleficent is still a lizard because she's bad, I guess.
Dude, No growling at the lizard of the bride.
I can't help it. It's instinct. Take it up with Mother Nature.
No! Doggy! Come back!
I just want to claw!
You know what? It doesn't matter. Nothing could ruin this day.
You mean aside from watching this crap? And right on cue, the girl who Mal's been fearful of ruining her day for the last 2 movies shows up. Oh, wait, Uma is supposed to be Mal's friend now, too, because... who knows?
Because friendship is magic.
I hate you.
Up top! I mean... welcome to the royal wedding. Ooh, lady? Uma?
Just stick to Uma, J. That's my name. Just stick to Uma, J. That's my name. What's my name? What's my name? What's my name?
On the topic of Mal's friends, you might notice that there's someone missing from this lineup. Yeah, I'm afraid we need to once again address the elephant in the room. It's unavoidable. This movie doesn't have Carlos in it. One might think that of course he wouldn't be here since his actor, Cameron Boyce, is no longer with us. But the movie never explains his absence. He's just gone, and we're supposed to accept that. If they're going to continue making future installments of a property, but without one of their key players, they need to either have the next chapter be about their absence and why we'll never see them again, or they need to have that character recast. Fans of Cameron Boyce may call foul at that suggestion, and I can understand their position. But at the risk of sounding trite, the show must go on. Walt Disney provided the voice for Mickey Mouse until the mid-1950s. Should his studio have simply stopped using Mickey just because Walt himself was no longer voicing him? The passing of Jim Henson is still heartbreaking to millions of people even to this day. Believe me, I know. But as Tiny Tim observed, take what you got and fly with it. That's what Jim Henson thought, and his successors had to believe in that too, letting Kermit continue even though Henson himself was gone. Absolutely no one could have foreseen the powerhouse performance that Heath Ledger brought to the Joker in The Dark Knight, and after he died, Warner Brothers was seriously considering retiring the character. That would mean that movies, TV shows, and even the comics would never include the Clown Prince of Crime ever again. Thank God that didn't happen, otherwise we wouldn't have Cameron Monaghan, we wouldn't have Joaquin Phoenix. I think it's worth putting up with a Jared Leto or two, because the Joker is just too big of a character to be stopped by something like our own mortality. But, if retire Carlos, you absolutely must make the next chapter about Carlos going out in a blaze of glory. If you're going to put an end to a beloved character, you need to make sure that it's that character's crowning moment. Beast Wars was no stranger to killing off its characters, but when the decision was made to kill off fan-favorite Dinobot, they had him fight off all of the Predacons at once in order to save the entire human race. That was one of the finest deaths ever to grace the TV screen. As we've seen in reviews past, there's a lot of dangerous shit in Auradon just waiting around for some pissed-off nutjob to come along and wreak all kinds of hell. Too much of these movies' screen time is devoted to Mal flip-flopping between being rotten to the core and I just want to do good! But maybe what finally pushes her into wanting to change her ways for the better is witnessing Carlo sacrificing himself in an act of heroism to save Auradon from whatever's threatening it this week. And this would be all the easier to do in an animated movie like Descendants, The Royal Wedding, because all you would need to do is find a voice actor who could play the part long enough for Carlos to have his finest hour. And just in case you're wondering, yes, I would have preferred something similarly heroic happen to Ducky instead of The Land Before Time just carrying on like Judith Barcy didn't exist.
Yep.
But what does the movie really do to explain Carlos's absence?
No?
Oh. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I just, I really wish Carlos was here.
We all do.
We were gonna wait until the reception. But now seems like a better time.
Well... That's so beautiful.
It's our crests, the 4 VKs, linked together forever.
I love it. Thank you, guys.
Weak! I mean, really? First of all, killing off Carlos, and off-screen at that, doesn't make any sense. Remember the Scissors of the Fates that are safely locked away in the museum? No one's cutting anyone's thread of life. Hell, how many Disney characters appear to have died, but then they're brought back to life by true love's kiss or some magical hoo-ha or whatever? What, Audrey's allowed to come back from the dead, but Carlos isn't? Secondly, what if you were a fan of this series, but you didn't know that Cameron Boyce was gone? This just comes right the hell out of nowhere. No mention of what happened to him, no reason for Mal to suddenly start thinking about him now, just, oh, by the way, Carlos is dead, isn't that sad? Moving on. Carlos and Cameron Boyce deserved more than this. Do better, Disney.
And back up a bit. I understand what these charms are supposed to mean to the VKs they're representing. Jay gets the cobra, Evie gets the apple, I get it. But why is Carlos represented by bones? If the idea is to have him represented by his new love of dogs, give him a paw print. Why did they give the crossbones to the dead kid?
Anyway, next on Mal's guest list is... Hades, her father. And no, I'm still not over that. He's been formally invited to Auradon, which you'd think might make him feel more at home than the last time we saw him, which in turn might make him more like the charismatic, fast-talking car salesman he was in Hercules, but no. He says nothing, he scowls, and he growls like a platypus because... villain?
Nice do. Want me to show you inside?
The other guests are just as uneasy about him as they've ever been, when the big closing number at the end of the last movie would suggest that these people are very quick to forgive and forget. And get used to this running gag, dude chasing after a lizard squeaky. The movie's only 22 minutes long! We don't need running gags! But suddenly, the castle is filled with clouds of smoke.
Hades has gone mad!
Help, please help!
Exit is this way, come on.
I can't believe this.
Uma, what happened?
Hades. He just toasted the whole wedding.
And why are there no firefighters? Seriously, King Adam, you put the kibosh on magic for reasons too stupid to contemplate, but you don't bother making up for the lack of magic by throwing some science around? Install a sprinkler system, or invest in fire extinguishers in case a fire breaks out, and you can't just bippity-boppity-boo it away, you idiot!
What's going on?
It's Hades. He destroyed the Great Hall.
Oh, no, my decor.
I know how disappointed you are, but we'll be here.
I'm not disappointed, because my dad would never purposefully ruin my wedding. This is just some kind of big misunderstanding, okay?
Spoiler alert, this is actually a big misunderstanding, but we need to remember that Hades is the kind of guy who would murder Mal's baby cousin. Ruining a wedding would be nothing to him.
My father is walking me down that aisle, and I'm gonna find him, and I'm gonna talk to him myself.
And you're not running off to the aisle on your own.
Well, then come with me. If anyone can bring him back, we can.
Because we're rotten. To the core.
No, you're not! Stop saying that you're rotten to the core when you have never done anything rotten in your little poser lives!
Because we're rotten. To the core.
Look at Audrey. She had to bend over out of frame so she could throw up from that line. They need to confront Hades on the Isle of the Lost, since there were no authorities to stop him on the way back. But the bridge is kinda sorta on fire, so it's up to Uma to go all Calypso on it and put it out. Ignoring again the aforementioned lack of firefighters in this world, God, Adam and his family are horrible rulers. It looks like they could just walk around this fire. Was this really necessary? Could giant Uma not just carefully pour a few handfuls of water over the fire? So they get to the aisle.
I love that the aisles had a major glow-up.
Except it still looks like crap, and we don't see anyone from the mainland offering their services or resources to spruce the place up. What is Evie talking about here?
Hold it. Boss says nobody gets inside.
Wait, stop. Who the hell are these guys? Are they supposed to be Pain and Panic? I mean, fine, have these characters look like their live-action counterparts because you want to better connect this movie to the others, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. But we have never seen these creatures in a live-action setting. They exist purely in the realm of animation. Why don't they look like their original animated characters? Maybe they're human here because they're shapeshifters, but why would they do that? There's no reason for them to be human. Would they even have the ability to do that on an island where magic is suppressed?
Boss says nobody gets inside.
Dave, what? Come on. It's me.
And why is Payne named Dave now?
Dave, what? Come on. It's me.
Sorry, Mal. Orders is orders.
And what is the point of making him Payne if he's not gonna be Bobcat Goldthwait?
Maybe some of us don't want him to be Bobcat Goldthwait.
Well, you can have that opinion, but you're wrong. Not Payne and not Panic here refuse to let Mal in, so she turns into a dragon. Again, I ask how she's able to do this when it's never established if magic can work here now. And of course, the demons, who I'm pretty sure are not mortal and should not be intimidated by threats of death, are intimidated by an ordinary dragon. And what's stopping them from just turning into dragons themselves?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Mal. Calm down.
No, let's not have anything cool or exciting happen like a dragon fighting a couple of demons. Violence is never the answer. They go down into Hades' lair, which is called Club 666, making me again wonder why we don't have Chernabog in this franchise. And suddenly I can't help but notice that Mal's hair looks more like Aurora's than her daughter's does. Brilliant character design, animators. It turns out that Ben immediately ran off with Hades as soon as he left, and no one in Auradon noticed. Isn't he supposed to be surrounded by a round-the-clock security detail and constantly hounded by the media? How does anyone not notice when the king is missing?
Hey, you're not supposed to see me. Whoa, close your eyes. Bad luck. What are you doing here?
Don't look at me! Oh, hi, by the way. It turns out that Ben followed Hades to try to get him to come back to the ceremony. Yeah, don't bother questioning him about setting the place on fire or anything.
Oh, and I caught your mom, too.
That's her, all right. I'd recognize those cold, dead eyes anywhere.
No. Maleficent is many things, but if you imply that she is anything less than stunning, there's something wrong with you.
I'd recognize those cold, dead eyes anywhere.
And sure, that's Maleficent reacting to a bad situation.
And to show I bear no ill will, I, too, shall bestow a gift on the child.
If magic is working on the island, and by all appearances it would certainly seem like that's the case, why is Maleficent still a lizard instead of turning back into her stunning self and raining fiery doom upon these people? Now that everyone's here, Hades tells them what really happened, as we flash back to the wedding party that's completely devoid of any recognizable Disney characters. Dude is still chasing around Lizard Squeaky, and in doing so, he bites Hades in the butt. Hades' hair just happens to set the place on fire, and the dozens of people to witness this somehow missed it, and Hades does absolutely nothing to convey his innocence. He just walked out, looking like he did it on purpose, and that's the end of that. Also, you gotta love this banner that reads, Mal e Ben. Well done, Argentinian animators.
Oopsie!
So yeah, all of this was a big, stupid accident, but Hades doesn't say anything in his defense before now because... Where? People see me as a villain, so I guess that's all I'll ever be to them. Where? Let me remind you, which I have to do since apparently even the writers need reminding, Hades is not your typical mustache-twirling, evil-for-the-sake-of-evil villain. He was burdened with taking care of the dead, a job that none of the other gods wanted either, and a prospect which is frightening to most mortals. If you were suddenly tasked with that kind of thankless existence through no choice of your own, you'd have a chip on your shoulder too. I'm sorry, but I don't see Hades throwing a pity party for himself just because people think he's the bad guy.
Dad.
Don't touch his cheek like that. The little duet that you had in the last movie was weird enough. We don't need you looking like you're gonna share a passionate lover's kiss.
I never thought for a moment that you did it on purpose.
It's not going to be my happiest day if you're not there. I want to be surrounded by the people that I love.
Oh, you mean the people that you spent a total of 10 minutes with?
And I love you, Mom. Whether you have skin or scales, or you fit in my pocket, or you breathe fire.
So then why aren't you using your magic to change her back to normal? Then suddenly the fairy godmother and Ben's parents show up, because why not?
Ben, Mal. No, you guys, we were so worried about you.
Okay, yes, very emotional. Loving it, but, TikTok, people!
Chop chop, let's hustle, everybody. Bippity boppity.
Hold on. You want to be married surrounded by the people you love. So do I. And here they are. I want you to enjoy every moment of today. So what do you say? Will you marry me here? Right now?
No! If you want to share your wedding with the people that you love, that's fine. Just have the fairy godmother bippity-boppity-boo you back to the castle! Of course, Mal says yes, because why would they want to involve everyone else they already invited? And considering what they've been through since the third movie, I can kinda sorta see Audrey wanting to make it up to Mal by throwing her all into her elaborate wedding preparations, but that's fine. Go ahead and shun her gestures of kindness so you can get married in a hole under a garbage dump. Oh, but Evie is sad that Mal won't be wearing her specially designed wedding dress, and we can't let Evie be sad, so go ahead and let Fairy Godmother fulfill her wish and not Audrey's. Well done, movie. You've officially ruined Walt Disney's favorite piece of animation. Audrey brings up how this is the wrong kind of atmosphere for our wedding, and without consulting anyone else on the matter, Fairy Godmother poops them all away to some random patch of forest. She could have just brought them back to the castle, and her doing this completely defeats the purpose of Ben's suggestion that they get married right here and now, and Ben doesn't object to this overt use of magic, so any way you slice it, this is bullshit. They dress it up with a little VK flair. Evie dances with Dude because ew, and with Mal being surrounded by the people that she loves, it seems to me like this would be a more appropriate spot for the Force Ghost of Carlos to show up, but whatever.
What do you mean Evie dances with Dude? Where's Doug?
There is no Doug.
What? That's almost as offensive as no Carlos!
So the royal wedding finally begins. Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
Malbertha.
Malbertha?
Malbertha. With this ring, I pledge everything that I have to you.
Skip to the end.
Do you have the ring?
Man and wife. Cut to where they say man and wife.
Husband and wife.
Close enough.
Ben kisses the bride. Then they're all teleported back to the castle. Huh? Sorry, guests. Joke's on you. You missed the wedding. What the hell was that? I mean, combine that with the kind of epic music that they have in the background, it almost sounds like it's alluding to the possibility of Carlos coming back in a later movie, making his absence in this movie completely pointless! Whatever. End of movie dance party. Oh, hi Dizzy. Thanks for dressing like crap for the biggest day of Mal's life.
Evie, how dare you let Dizzy or any guest come this underdressed, and you call yourself a bridesmaid?
I'm feeling it.
I'm feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. Raven, are you feeling it?
Not especially, no.
So, this is what happily ever after looks like.
For us? Yes. But somewhere, another story could be just beginning.
And as a final twist of the knife, we end on this image. Oh yes! As if the last several movies weren't painful enough, this final chapter has to end with a teaser that there are more stories to tell with Descendants in Wonderland. Go to hell, movie! I mean, my god! What more do you want from us? The animation was cheap, choppy, rushed, and sloppy. The story was a complete waste of time. The songs were as ear-splitting as ever. The exclusion of Carlo seemed more like a slap in the face than anything else. And after all of that, you expect us to come back for more? What makes you think we'd subject ourselves to any more of this garbage?
The fact that you devoted another month to it.
You're right. I need to wash my hands of this so we can talk about something awesome. Tune in next time when we begin the Bat Month. See you later.
You don't know your
It's never after like you've never felt. It's the sum of the times of your life. It's the person you're standing beside. And it's the pride that you're feeling inside. For who you are, you've come so far. I'm feeling the love, 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 love. You make me feel alive. True love you can't deny. I'm feeling that dream come true. Here with you, and love is around us too. Ooh, and I feel the love. The journey might not always be that easy. Twists and turns can take you anywhere. Together or apart, you gotta trust your heart. 'Cause the power of true love will get you there. Yeah, it's the sum of the times of your life. And it's the person you're standing beside. Yeah, it's the pride that you're feeling inside. For where you are, and it's just the start. I'm feeling the love, 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 love. You make me feel alive. True love you can't deny. I'm feeling that dream come true. Here with you, and love is around us too. Ooh, and I feel the love. For good and for better, I found my forever. I can't wait to know where our story goes. This moment, this feeling is one you can measure. I'm feeling it.
I'm feeling it.
Are you feeling it? I'm feeling the love, 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 love. You make me feel alive. True love you can't deny. I'm feeling that dream come true. Here with you, and love is around us too. Ooh, and I feel the love. I'm feeling the love, 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 love. I'm feeling the love, love, love.
Hey guys. After I'm done taking notes for the movie that I'm going to review next, and I'm reworking it into a shooting script, not everything that I write down is going to make the final cut. But, whenever I get together with a guest writer to take notes with me, I try to use every joke and talking point that they bring up. As you've just seen, there is a lot of crap going wrong with Descendants, the Royal Wedding, so much so that the review ended up being longer than the movie itself. One of the most glaring, and frankly embarrassing, issues with the movie is its sloppy animation, a point about which my guest writer Grace Starks had quite a bit to say, and she even wrote me an entire extra page of notes to be used in the review. Unfortunately, there was already so much to talk about, and because it was such a long period of time between when we got together to write the notes and when I actually sat down to work it into a script, I ended up forgetting the bits that she wrote me. Grace has quite a bit of knowledge on the subject of animation and storytelling in general, and we can't let that knowledge be overlooked. So, enjoy this added bit of bonus material. No, not that bonus material! In Richard Williams' Animator's Survival Kit, he explains the 2 ways to animate according to the 12 principles of animation. The first method is called straight ahead. It means to animate the action from drawing number 1 to the end in sequential order. It's like how you would animate a flipbook, by drawing straight ahead from the first page to the last. The second method is called pose to pose. First you decide where are the most important drawings, the keys, and put them in. Then you decide what the next most important positions are in the scene. These are the extremes. Then you work out how to go from one pose to the other, finding the nicest transition between 2 poses. These are the breakdowns or passing positions. Then you add any finishing touches to it. The animators in this special were using the pose-to-pose method of animation, but as you know, animation takes a long time and TV productions have much shorter deadlines for their shows. As a result, most animated TV shows have to limit their animation to save time or put their shows on hiatus to give their animators time to finish their craft. Because of how financially successful the Descendants movies were, the team behind this wanted to get this out as soon as possible to make a quick buck, and the animation had to be rushed in order to meet the tight deadline. The animators only had time to draw the keyframes on the extremes, and maybe some of the breakdowns, but not the final touches. And then they had to pass the unfinished animation to cleanup and coloring. Thus, the final product is incredibly choppy. But even if it was gorgeously animated like a traditional Walt Disney film, it still would have been terrible. As Don Bluth wrote in his book, The Art of Storyboard, animation will only dress up your material. A good story can be poorly animated, and it will still play for the audience. A bad story can be superbly animated, and it will never play. In fact, it could clear the room. Since this animated special is both poorly animated and poorly written, it has 2 strikes against it and doesn't work at all. Whether Grace ends up in animation or storyboarding, it is very obvious that she has the knowledge and the talent to back it up. See you later.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more.